Yo, what's happening, fanbase, and welcome to an episode of Nux Rants. You asked for more of these, and well, there's plenty of stuff I can rant on if I wanna. I originally got the idea to make this video when I was looking through past episodes of Hero Academia, looking at other students for, well, honest descriptions on all other students. That'll be a doozy, and it'll be in a while. I'm probably gonna end up doing every teacher first. That was the most requested on my last one, so I guess preemptively looking at all the 1B students, we'll have to wait. Funnily enough, the student that caught my eye was a certain student in 1C by the name of Shinso. As we all know, Shinso has a ridiculously powerful quirk. If you answer his question, you're under his ultimate mind control, where he can now control your mind. Yes, from the name mind control, most people are able to gather that it involves controlling of the mind, but for those of you that didn't, I figured I might as well spell it out. This attack is something I would like to call a KO attack. If used effectively, it's an automatic win that cannot be blocked. Unless you, of course, you have protagonist abilities and plot armor, and I think everyone, even the raging bonered MHA tards, can agree that Deku beating Shinso after he was mind-controlled was fat-ass plot armor, and the word fat is spelled with a PH. So to quickly gather my thoughts and explain what this video is about, it's constructive criticism to how to build suspense. And the one point I will be focusing on for the entirety of this video will be how KO attacks never do shit, because there's no suspense in getting hit by a one-hit KO. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, I wanted to thank Anime Amino for sponsoring this video, but not with the typical Amino stuff that you're used to in the past. Basically, they started a program on their Amino app called Anime Camp. As a kid, I would love binging my favorite shows, but some, and especially the long ones, I would do with a friend or my brother, because honestly, it's way more fun watching with someone than watching alone. So all those alone times where I didn't have friend or brother with me, there were no conventions to do, and watching anime is a lot more fun than playing sports, frankly. And that is why I love Anime Camp from Anime Amino. It's one of the biggest anime communities around, where there's great arts, theories, and writing, and conversations about anything. And it's basically like being at an anime convention a whole day on your phone that you can pull out and put away whenever you feel like it. And aside from just being a great place to chill, every week of the summer, there's a different competition going on with different unique prizes for the winners. For example, this week, there's a cosplay contest and an AMV contest, which both sound so cool and a great effective way to spend your time creatively. Well, I'm Nux Taku there, link to Amino in the description. Feel free to download it, join Amino, and start posting your camp creations. Look forward to seeing you there. Suspense and trepidation is often built up among the viewers when they're looking at a series and they're like, I don't know if John Doe character is gonna get out of this situation. The opponent is crazy powerful with a lot of powerful abilities. But then if the opponent has one ability that's a simple KO, you know that that attack will not kill anyone, because that would be lame. And the last thing that any writer to any series wants is for the series to be lame and anticlimactic. And that's exactly what a KO attack is. It's an anticlimactic way to wipe out the opponent. So here's where the Nux Rants part comes in. I've already mentioned Shinso from Hero Academia. Well, his attack is virtually a KO attack. He answers question, complete mind control, game over. But now, Shinso's issue is twofold. On one hand, he obviously is not going to beat Deku with this stupid KO attack, because again, anticlimactic. And at the same time, just beating Shinso without answering his questions is again pretty damn anticlimactic. So because of Shinso's ability being what it is, it initially, before the fight even began, set up the future ass pull that was to come. But not only that, had zero suspense in an actual victory on Shinso's end. Oh, but we're not done here, fam. This is a Nux Rants, and I'm gonna rant. I'm still covering 7 Deadly Sins, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, and the final one will be a surprise. Starting with 7 Deadly Sins, let's talk Galand. Galand of Truth is a member of the 10 Commandments, and therefore, if you violate his commandment, one hit KO. Galand is the commandment of truth, and therefore, anyone that lies to him will be turned to stone. Dead. Finished. One hit KO. Needless to say, we're not afraid that this will actually permanently hinder any of our main characters. Of course, the one character that lies to Galand to actually figure out what his power is and turns to stone doesn't actually affect her, because Merlin has a zillion and a half secret powers that she's never told anyone. No suspense of this actually defeating anyone ever. Once we're on 7 Deadly Sins, Hendrickson's Black Snow attack. At the end of the first season, when Hendrickson was Grey Demon mode and he was dropping this black powder, anyone who touched that black powder literally automatically dies. That was his his power. If you touch it, you automatically die. You're probably wondering why characters that are way stronger than Hendrickson in future arcs don't use that, but that's 7 Deadly Sins power scale logic. I'm not getting into that right now. My point is, obviously, if there's an attack like this, which frankly it can't dodge snow, so it should kill everyone, but it doesn't kill anyone of even slight importance. You know why? Because it will be freaking lame. So that's why this specific KO attack never did shit. On to Naruto. Let's talk about the Kodo Amatsu Kami. So there are several Sharingan Mangekyo jutsus that I could be talking about here, being that a lot of them seem to have KO abilities, but none better than the Kodo Amatsu Kami. It's an ultimate genjutsu that can be inflicted on anyone, any distance away from you, on any stretch of the planet. And they're put in an unknowing, unstoppable genjutsu where they fully have to succumb to your wishes. So let me ask you a question, fam. When Toby is setting up the entire Great Ninja War for the finale of the Naruto series, did no one realize that the Kodo Amatsu Kami would literally stop him in his tracks and make him kill himself, or turn good, or kill Kabuto and then kill himself, or any of that? Did anyone realize that that is something that's completely not blockable? Well, it's not a reality. A lot of people want to tell me that it's not actually a plot hole because, well, it wasn't available to anybody, but the point remains the same. The suspense could not exist if a KO attack does, and on the contrary, it did exist. Danzo possessed Shisui's Sharingan and was set up in a way that he would use it on the Raikage to make him the leader, and that same day, since he can only use it once a day, he got attacked by Sasuke and was therefore defeated before it recharged enough for him to be able to use it on Toby to stop the entire war. Now, this is ridiculous because if he could use it once a day, he could have used it the day before. And if he could use it once a day, and it has zero boundaries as far as space, every day he could have knocked off another Akatsuki member anywhere in the world. Or he could have had those Akatsuki members knock off different Akatsuki members. Or when Shisui had it. You think Shisui couldn't use it on Danzo when Danzo was trying to kill him? Or Shisui couldn't use it on the third Hokage to stop Danzo from killing him? There are so many possibilities if you have a jutsu with this limitless potential, but then again, if it was used to its fullest degree, it would be so dumb. And therefore, it wasn't. Hence my thesis, KO attacks never do shit. And once we're on Naruto, I would like to breach one more jutsu. It's the Mind Destruction Jutsu. You know, the Yamanaka is the most useless clan on the planet. You know, taking the crown from the Harunos. Yeah, well, they've developed this Mind Destruction Jutsu. If you point at someone, it makes them go completely berserk and they lose their mind. This jutsu would defeat anyone. And since it could defeat anyone, it defeated no one. But I'm trying to move a little quicker. Let's move on to One Piece, starting with Doflamingo's String Puppet Jutsu. Now, the thing is, as far as what we've seen so far, Doflamingo can use his ultimate string thing to make anyone a puppet to his will. He used it on the King of Dressrosa and controlled him to wipe out tons of people. Obviously, this thing completely controls the fam. Not to mention that Doflamingo can use strings that are powerful enough that even Zoro can't cut, and that guy can freaking cut everything. So now let me ask you a question. Did anyone watching One Piece at all in the Dressrosa arc say, wait a second, in Luffy's final battle with Doflamingo, he could just use plop? Luffy is now under his complete control. Oh no, Luffy lost. Did anyone have that suspicion in the slightest? Was there any suspense? Well, not to me there wasn't, because it would be pretty damn dumb if a KO attack just beat Luffy in the final battle. How stupid is that? I'm glad we're on One Piece, because now I can talk about the Gloom and Doom shroom fruit. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I didn't have the patience to look up the bimbo that uses it. It's the ghost bitch from Thriller Bark that basically completely crushes your will to live and your spirit. So therefore, everyone affected by this fruit lays on the ground with the will to die. This fruit, if used on anyone, aside from Usopp, not that it really made sense, but if used on anyone, that person loses the fight completely. It's a one-hit KO. Did we expect this to kill anyone? Did it actually beat anyone? The answer to both of those questions is no, because KO attacks never do shit. So in Fairy Tail, there's an attack called Law. There's Fairy Law and there's Dark Law. Both of these attacks completely eradicate either all bad enemies or all good enemies if you're using Fairy Law or if you're using Dark Law. Needless to say, the first time Fairy Law was used, it was amazing because of Beginner's Rock. The first time an anime attack is used, it's way more powerful than all of the future times, but at the same time, this is a KO attack. And therefore, despite this attack being at the disposal of the Fairy Tail Guild at all times, and despite it being at the disposal of a certain bad guy as well, it was never used to beat anyone of importance. You do realize when the whole Tartaros arc was going on, old man Makarov could just fairy law the bejizzle out of them and they would all lose. It eradicates all darkness that you have the will to defeat. That's how that attack works. It's not even in a certain distance from you. You just need to have your mind on them and kablooey. They are completely destroyed. That would be stupid and therefore it was not done. And therefore, it's a plot hole. Same logic in why Hades didn't use Dark Law on the entire Fairy Tail Guild. It would be pretty lame if the entire guild was wiped out because the bad guy had a one-hit KO to wipe out all of the good guys. Therefore, it did not happen. The suspense was nil, and therefore the plot was shat. Bleach time, ladies and gents, and I don't have a lot of time for this one because you all know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's Aizen's Shikai. So, Aizen, one of the main bad guys in Bleach, has a Shikai ability that anyone that gazes at his sword is under his perfect hypnosis mind control. Perfect hypnosis mind control by just looking at his sword. So, no one could really affect him because, well, everyone's seen his sword, so no one can actually fight him at all, being that he completely controls them. I know you're thinking that probably sounds really stupid, and yes, it is, especially because of how he was defeated. He was defeated because he did not use this power on the main character. When he was fighting Ichigo, and Ichigo has seen his Shikai in the past, all the way back in the Soul Society arc, he did not use his Shikai ability to completely control Ichigo. And the reason for that is very simple. It's because it would be a one-hit KO attack, and not only do we need the good guy to win, not only do we need the main character to win, but a one-hit KO attack would be a pretty damn stupid way for him to lose. Similarly with Soifon's Shikai, you know, taps the same spot twice and bam, the person is dead. That is the ability, and therefore that cannot happen because that is the stupidest way to beat a powerful bad guy ever. You know, just tap him twice from kablooey. More KO attacks that you know won't happen. It's Aluka from Hunter x Hunter. So, as we know, Aluka possesses the ability that people splat. It's a complicated arc. It's a complicated ability. I don't really want to get into it. It's amazing. I love Hunter x Hunter, just like I love most of the other anime I'm talking about. In fact, I like all the other anime I'm talking about. But come on, we didn't actually think that Killua or Hisoka would be beaten by this random splattering ability. There was zero suspense that something would actually happen to any of the characters. It didn't necessarily hinder the arc because the arc was focused on many other themes. But at the same time, did anyone think that,
oh, Aluka has an ability that might auto KO some of the main characters? It might happen, guys.
No one thought that. And the final anime I would have to mention is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Some powers are really bizarre and some are really niche. The way most of the abilities in JoJo's work are based on such slight nuances, it makes it so fun to watch how any given character beats another just by knowing what the opponent's stand is. The focus of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and how the fights are run is based solely on knowledge. If one character has an extraordinarily more powerful stand than the other, except weak stand guy knows what strong stand guy's power is, while strong stand guy does not know weak stand guy's power, strong stand guy is in a massive disadvantage, and even a 4-on-1 won't necessarily help him. That's the nature of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So despite the fact that we know main characters are not gonna die by random stupid opponents in middle of the series that have stands based on complete nuanced reasons to beat the main character auto KO if he scratches his chin, because that's kind of the thing at one point. Obviously the character's not gonna die, but the series is called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because the suspense is in how they beat him. We know he's gonna win, we just don't know how. So to be brief, if there's an auto KO attack in anime, it will never do anything. The only attacks that have a purpose of actually posing a threat are attacks that can injure or wound, because the main character is probably not gonna die halfway through the series, and therefore, the most we can hope for is wounding the guy. Damn, I sound a bit psychotic, but you know what I'm talking about. If an opponent's fighting with swords, it's a lot more likely the main character is gonna get slashed than if the opponent has an automatic attack that he pushes a button and the main character's head blows up. Far less likely to happen in the middle of the series. And now, this doesn't only go for main characters, mind you. This goes for even slightly important support characters. And that's because push button head blows up is way less climactic than an actual heated battle to show off the enemy's power. Being that the writer doesn't want anything dumb to happen and doesn't want the series to be looked at as stupid or anticlimactic at all, he will not actually have any KO attack ever do anything. That's just the reality of the situation. So that brings me to my close. KO attacks will never ever do anything in anime, and that's the reasoning behind why. Well fam, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to keep your eyes open in future media that you're watching, and be sure to realize how what I'm saying is actually, believe it or not, pretty much accurate. Let me know in the comments other examples of KO attacks you could think of that, well, didn't end up doing anything. If you like this type of video talking about media cliches and maybe the reasonings behind them, feel free to also let me know. It's the type of thing that I have not really done yet and that I'm happy to possibly begin doing. If you enjoyed this video video at all, feel free to hit the like and subscribe for future random ass, in-depth, or satire videos. Or I guess rants too, if you like rants. I don't know, but apparently you guys like the rants. Links in the description include my Twitter, feel free to follow me there. My merch, feel free to check it out. And my Patreon, feel free to pledge. Really appreciate it, really helps support the channel, and huge thanks to the Swag Coggers, TM Philly, Rari, Sash, MD, JD Fincher, Q Zindergarten, Axel, and an anonymous member. The 4 Lord Tweegers, Fabian Brandy, Tyler Schumacher, Gavin Anderson, and Large Blab. And the 3 Godus Uprank, Zachary Wheatley, Dark Element, and Ezedric. Huge thanks for all your support. Anyone who pledges is invited to the Discord server, where we have extremely in-depth conversations, sometimes about anime, and sometimes about boobs. That was last week. Good times, good times. But that's all for me for today, fam. Look forward to seeing you next time. Pardon me for the random ass weird video drop that was this thing. But remember, stay weird, fam.